Howdy y'all, this is Colby, the Dungeon Man, just here to give you a couple of brief videos about how to set up your Roll20 Virtual Tabletop account and game and settings and how to get rolling with a character and eventually to play the game. I'll be making several very short videos so you can just open the one that you need and watch it when you need to. If you have any other questions, just direct message me. If you see me in the Roll20 Discord or in any Discord, just go ahead and send me a message, email me, chat in game, whatever you need. So, okay, first thing you're going to need to do is the game master of the game that you're going to want is going to send you a link. Um, they might just email you the link, they might post it in Discord, or they might go a little crazy and make a nice little sheet for you that introduces you. So, if so, whatever you do, you would just want to come down, click on the link. This is this one to join the game of playing Roll. So you would click on this, and it would first go in. If you hadn't set up a Roll20 account before, it would have you set up an account. Then it would have you accept the game invite, okay? I, of course, already have an account. This is actually my dummy account, Ryan. So I just use this one for when I'm wanting to test out features and map pages and things in games I am about to run. So, anyways, you would just accept the game invite, set up your account, and confirm. One thing to note, since my system default does open links in Microsoft Edge, just to note, Roll20 does perform better in either Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Other players and game masters have had success with other browsers, but if you notice any issues with your preferred browser, if it's not Chrome or Firefox, see if you can switch to one of those two because they do get the full treatment from the Roll20 team. Okay? Now, once you log into your account, you're going to be able to go to games, and if you don't have any games, you might just see the one that you'll want right there, or you can just click on games and it'll pull them up here. If you want to just click on the game you're interested in getting into, just do that. It'll give you a little bit of info based on what the game master has set up. Wow, this game master's terrible. I haven't even put up there the, kind of game description and stuff. I'll do that later for us. It would also show, like, next game date, if that has something. And you can also leave the game if you want to. Or you can look at the outside journal or the chat archive from here. You'll learn more about that later. So once you're ready to get into the game and build a character sheet in it or use compendium features or something, again, we're fixing to learn that, you just click launch game. Yep, there we go. Sorry, takes a minute. Okay. So you are going to be presented a landing page. This will determine what page you see. You can't change the pages or the maps. You can't go between them. Only the game master can move you around. So whatever bookmark they have, that's going to be the landing page you come to. Okay? The features are a lot, so we're going to kind of break them down into a couple of things. First, know that some game masters do set a couple of different rules. So I will tell you what is most likely used by the majority of game masters. Just know some game masters may change a few of these settings on their own. Okay, but the general stuff to use Roll20. First off, over here you've got your toolbar. You can pop out, pop in. Your settings here. You can turn on dark mode if you prefer. You can give feedback, look at help and documentation, or when you're done with the game, exit the game, or just close the browser. Next is your select tool, and if you hover over these things, they will all tell you a mouse keyboard shortcut. I'll show you another place you can see those, but this is going to be your main tool to click and move your token, to pull up your character sheet, whatever. You'll have it just left on the default select. When you are on the map, if you're zoomed in and there is map outside of what you can see, you can right click and it will pan the page for you. So if I go even further, I can move it left and right. So that's a good way, instead of having to switch it to this pan, which does that, you can just leave it here on the select, just right click. Okay. The next one is draw. If you are on a map and you are talking to the game master or your party and you're trying to tell them that you're wanting to plan something at a X location, you might want to select freehand and say, okay, I want to do it right here, y'all. Or, y'all go this way, I'll go that way. Whatever it may be. Then the game master can delete that stuff, or I think you can delete your stuff immediately. So you just click on it and delete. There you go. So any of these you can draw an ellipse, rectangle, pen line. There you go. If you do want to change the color, the one caveat is you have to change the color before you draw. So just click and change the color to whatever you're wanting and tell it how thick you want the lines. Okay? So there's some drawing stuff. Then you have a text box. Again, kind of like the draw. Just make sure if you want to change anything, change your color beforehand, change your font, size, whatever it is. Then you can do that and type in a message. Alright, this one is going to be a very handy tool. The Game Master will set up how large, if a grid is used, they'll set up how large a square equals. Most of the time it's probably going to be either 5 feet or 10 feet. Oh, excuse me. I guess I haven't finished enough coffee today. But you can click on this measure tool. You can tell it how you're wanting to measure. Okay. Snap to the center is normally going to be, best, unless you want to just turn no snapping. The fade, delay, instant, or let it linger a bit. And do you want to broadcast it to others, or do you just want to do it secretively? So, and you can actually see here the grid for this one, even though you can't see grid lines on it, it does equal 5 feet. So if I were to click here and drag, you can see that it shows you how far the distance is. So if you're trying to figure out how far you can cast a spell or how much movement you can run, you can just do this. When you let go, it kind of stays there, it lingers for a minute, and then it's going to fade out. You can also then just click delete if you don't want to wait for the fade. So, good tool there. When you're done with it, just click it back in or click on another item. Then down here, you have an extra dice tool. Okay, there are multiple ways to roll dice in this system, but this is one extra roll option. What you do is you can decide if you want to just roll to the GM, so it's a secret roll, or the Game Master may ask you, hey, whisper me a roll, and that's what you would click on and off, okay? But you would go, if you wanted to just roll one dice, this is your column, okay? If you wanted to roll two of those, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, You have all of the typical options here, and even a little fudge option if you choose. But so let's say that you need to roll a d6, just 3 of them. You just come over, click it, and it's going to show you your dice roll. There you go. So the other thing is that all dice rolling and stuff will show up over here in the chat sidebar. More on that later. So yeah, you can do that. If you want to go to some advanced rolling, you can. I honestly have not used this, but maybe once or twice. So just kind of depends on what you want to do. But I think just the simple roller is perfectly fine for most of these needs. So then we're going to move over here to the sidebar. Okay. Like I said earlier, you're going to start your chat. This is probably, if you're playing in game, you are probably going to spend most of your time here. If you're setting up a character or researching, you're probably going to spend your time over in Compendium or Journal. But most of the time you're going to see here in chat. This does follow some of the basic, like chat commands, \roll, 1d20, there you go, or you can \r, \gm roller, \gr, whisper player, \w, whatever you want. You can close some of these other things that they're doing, adding on stuff. So the chat, you can also change it if you control multiple characters, for example, or if you want to just say it as you personally versus your character. You could do that. So if I wanted to say it just as me, I might say it as Ryan. And, Ryan's my middle name. So there you go. And it'll even tell you there as Ryan. But if you want something to be as in character, you might do this and say, well met, friends. And then that changes it and shows the name of your character in there, okay? Alright, next is going to be your art library. Most of you are not going to have a lot of stuff in here, but sometimes you will want to upload like custom tokens that you make, or and remember, sometimes your GM will make them, or like your avatar picture, so that's fine. You can organize it with adding subfolders and everything, or just upload a file, okay? The next thing, journal, is going to be a good one. This is put together by both you and the Game Master. It may be organized differently depending on you or the Game Master, but here I have put in some folders for my folks. Character sheets will be there, and helpful handouts, okay? Once you create a character, if you are able to see it and or edit and control it, you will see it in here. If you cannot see the character or are not given edit and control permissions, you will not see that character, okay? Couple of differences. This is a character that I created, so I can see the full character sheet, okay? Mr. Bad is a character that a friend of mine created, and they're playing the game. All it will show me is bio and info. So here's his picture he's selected, and he's noted currently he's an amnesiac, okay? But you can see, you can get a little bit more descriptive, like here's Vox, played by a buddy of mine, puts in all of his descriptor here. There's some prompts when you go in and type this. I'll show you where. And then you can even put in links. So this is a link to a flyer he did. Helpful handouts. This is going to vary based on the Game Master, but I generally put in a couple of items over and over, regardless of games. The ability icon key, the basic rules full version, the basic rules player focus version. This is just those free kind of abridged version of the player handbook put out by Wizards of the Coast. Recommended game settings is always something I'll put in there, as well as keyboard shortcuts. What you do, you open up the PDF, okay, and I'm going to drag this out a bit so you can see it. If you want to turn off this preview pane, you can. Just click the menu. So this gives you the PDF of whatever it is that they're looking at, okay? So this is just something you could print or save onto your computer so you kind of have a quick reference. I will show you another place where you can get this, but not all of these, and they're sometimes not broken up. So recommended player game settings is something I like to do just to make it the easiest for my players. I'm going to keep this open because here in a minute we're actually going to see where you can change this. So we're just going to move that right over here. And this is a great time to say, if you pop open all these windows, which you can open multiples. If you want to keep it, not close it, but you want to at least downsize it, just double click up there on the header, and it's going to pop out into this nice little faded tab. And you can just drag it around, put it wherever you want, okay? So anyways, that's all that. Then there's some specifics to this campaign, like campaign species and classes for Ravenloft, and additional backgrounds for Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. So that's your journal. The compendium is a fantastic one. We're going to come back to it, and we're going to come back to it in a slightly different look because currently Roll20 they have some stuff in beta. So just kind of get ready. We're fixing to switch, like September 17th, coming up in a month, is a big date, and within the next couple of months after that, they'll be doing a lot more. So we're going to come back to this after we change our game settings, and it's going to look a little different and just be a little easier to use. Jukebox, the Game Master is going to be the one to control it, but if you want to see what song is playing or what artist, you can just click on this and see it. I think you can also adjust your own personal sound if a song is playing, okay? This is your collections over here, which is full of macros, related items to this campaign or module or add-on. So lots of stuff in there, probably on the more advanced. So we'll get into that another day. Now you go to your settings. This is where we're going to want to see our recommended player settings right here. So what you want to do is personalization displays, the first tab. Here we go. You can change your display name to whatever you want it to be. The character pop-out windows. Currently, I am going to advise you not to pop the windows out, which would, make it its own window up here in your browser. There are some functionality issues, and they're not fixing them because when we move to the new system in the next few months, it doesn't matter. So don't do that really right now. Alphabetically sort token actions. I like being able to sort my own stuff, so I never check it. The show zoom interface, that's just, can you zoom with your mouse wheel button, or do you have to use this? Okay. And then this will also give you the option to go between slider zoom or percentage. So there you go. That, just do whatever you like best, okay? Beta features. We are going to encourage you to turn that on right now, actually. And then you will also, and it will cause, if you are in the compendium, if you change the compendium setting, which I didn't get to show you, but it was checked, it will reload your page, okay? So if I go back to this, you see right here, I don't know, I don't think it's normally checked, but I definitely recommend checking it and going with it. And here's another way to turn on dark mode, okay? Next, we're going to go to graphics, and look at that. I forgot, since we reloaded the page, I do need to open up that game settings document again. There we go. Okay, graphics here, your frame rate, that is completely between you and your computer system. have fun. I do encourage set all of these. Where's my graphics? There we go. Graphics right here. Set all of these if you want. You probably won't do a lot of dragging tokens onto the map layer. More normally, that's the GM. So you could just leave that off, okay? Then we're going to go to audio and video. This is going to depend if you are using the Roll20 voice and video chat, which is pretty handy and in-game and doesn't require your system to run another program. This is where you're going to make the changes. Here's your music level. This one is others can hear or see me. Since this is my dummy account, I do not want that to cause an echo, so I have nobody can hear or see me. But I do allow I can hear or see others. You can have it just do voice, you can turn off all video, or you can do neither, okay? So whichever happens there that you need. If you have some bug issues, here we go. And if you get disconnected, you can normally either reconnect there or down here in your avatar. Then you can go to this tab in this setting, the player video avatar size. That's what, well, and I've got them moved to the bottom, okay? Oh, I think that is the default now, yay. But you can move them to the top, up there if you want, whatever you prefer. But large, you know, regular, small, or names only. So, and if you need to join, you can do that. But I generally, for most of my games, either go small or regular, okay? So, and you can change that, okay? Then we're going to go to text chat options, okay? Text chat options, I say put them all checked. Enable chat timestamps is normally the only one that's not checked. There you go. Dice options over here. I recommend putting all three of them. Number one, remember how I rolled those nice, lovely dice? If you don't have these enabled, then you won't see the dice, and you would just see it in the chat. And you can see up here it highlights the chat to say, hey, there's a new chat. So if we click back over there, it would show you that I just rolled a d20 and I rolled a 3. Correct. If you want to make the dice disappear, just click anywhere on the screen. Final settings, keyboard shortcuts, okay? This is kind of that list that I have in my helpful handouts, but mine has a little bit more. But the main thing here is also changing the use scroll, the scroll button on your mouse to zoom or change. That is, you can do either or. Zoom, you know, does this, or pan will scroll it up and down. Okay? So, whatever you prefer. I generally like zoom, and then I use my right click to pan. So, that's all up to you. Okay? The compendium, let's go back to it. Okay, you can now see that it looks a little cleaner, a little more formatted here. Great. This is going to be a great area where you can search the compendium, and this is going to be either books that you have purchased yourself or been gifted on Roll20, or the game master of this game is sharing with you, okay? I have a pro level account, so I share all of my compendiums, which is virtually all of the official Wizard of the Coast compendium books. Compendium books like source books, core rule books, those type of things. So player handbook, dungeon master guide, monster manual, and more, okay? So let's say that you are trying to research classes to decide what kind of character you want to build. You can type in a class, like if you want to look for a ranger, type it in, and it's going to give you several options. It tells you about rangers, and it will tell you the source book below, okay? Tons of options. It'll show you the classes. Generally for the classes, I'm either going to want to look at the player's handbook, or if you're doing an artificer, then Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And here's some other options and features and stuff. But you can also just click on classes here, and it's going to show you all of them. Again, you may have multiple source books, so like A bard shows up in both the player's handbook and the essentials kit. The essentials kit was just that kind of starter set that they put out a while back, and it just included kind of core classes and core races. It just kind of minimized everything to get players casually introduced to the game. Okay? But as you can see, you can go through a multitude of things here. You can look at races, both playable and monster. You can pull up spells. You can, even if you sort, what you can do, let's see. There we go. Don't know why the filter button didn't work. But you can either search a specific name, or you can say, okay, I want to see all spells that require concentration. I try not to pick too many spells that are concentration. Some classes can avoid that. And let's say we want to be able to ritual cast it, and you can select here the classes, okay? So, Artificer, and let's say you want just cantrips level 1 and level 2, okay? And you can even select the source book, okay? Apply, and that is going to give us just a few. We could detect magic or skywrite, alrighty? So, the other thing that is great from the compendium for most everything, like spells, items, attacks, things, you can drag and drop them onto your character sheet. So, let's say that you've got your character sheet here, and you're in the compendium. If you wanted to add this to your list, you would just drag it over here, accepting drop from compendium. You want to make sure you see that. Drop it, and it's going to put it in the proper place, which is in the spells. And you will see that it is added detect magic down here because it is a second level spell. I'm sorry, first level spell. Yeah, that was kind of odd. I thought, that's not right. So drag and drop works for pretty much everything. So that's a great little feature there, okay? So I'm going to delete that off because that does not work for my cleric. All right, that is basic stuff on this. We will get into your character setup in our next video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy your gaming.